I'm Ellen McCauley at Pray It Off in Syracuse, New York. And for those of you who don't know, every week I film myself. I don't film any members of the group unless they're winning an award and they've decided to give a speech, because there's a lot of people who participate remotely, and we have some members who are out of town, etc., and they watch these videos. Let's say you were traveling to Florida, you can watch the videos and see what you missed. I will email them to you. Now, if you are, there's a few people in the group that do not do email. No worries, you just have to have perfect attendance so that you never miss a jewel that I said, okay? So, the Pray It Off guidelines. If there are people in this room, especially for those who just joined in session 29, that have been here since January of 2008. And you might say, Ellen, how is it possible that people are there that long? It's because losing weight is the hardest thing to do in life. That's not just me saying it. It's a fact. You can quit drinking and never drink again. You can quit drugs, never take drugs again. But we have to eat to survive. And once we have those fat cells, our bodies do not want to let go. Once we lose weight, our bodies need less calories. It's a difficult challenge. And people have said to me, Ellen, are you still going to do this when you retire? Of course, because I not only run the group, I need it desperately. So for those who've been with me since January of 2008, you know what a difficult journey this is. And you might say, Ellen, I have these guidelines memorized, but the key is this January 5th of 2023 to actually maybe do some of them, you know? So let's say, especially anyone who's new, that before you do anything, don't go from being a sedentary for 20 years and start running a marathon and blame it on Pray It Off. Check with your doctor before you do anything crazy. Pray It Off is not a diet. I do not believe that diets work. I believe the only thing that works is consistently, over time, to eat healthy, move more, ask God to help. You're going to have ups, you're going to have downs, but as long as you don't keep going here, here, that's the key. Also, we decided to have St. Padre Pio be our intercessor, because when I started the group back in 2008, I thought it would be fun to call it Pray It Off, and that's P-I-O for Pio, and everyone started calling it that, and St. Pio actually had trouble with his weight. So he's the perfect intercessor. We start at 6 on the dot, we get out at 7 on the dot, because I've been in too many meetings where I wanted to kill myself because it wasn't ending. Like people were talking and talking and talking. I'm like, it's supposed to stop. So we will stop. Also, there's a $5 one-time registration fee. Jean is our vice president. If you can raise your hand, Jean. There she is! Yay! Woo! I call her the vice president, but she just says, oh, you're driving me crazy, Ellen. Jean she weighs in people. There's a list. If you're not on her list, you come to me. Sorry, Brenda, you were supposed to come to me. I'll get you next week. So, Jean is collecting the $5. 100% of that money goes to Holy Family for those packets that are in front of you today. Get a 3-ring binder. Put your prayers in it. We say the same prayers every week. Put your packet in it. And please, do you hear how silent it is? Because I don't like it when people talk when I'm talking. Because I think it's difficult to pay attention if you're already talking to your neighbor. Okay? You hand in your food log each week. I was a little surprised. I'm worried about our economy. I'm worried about everything because so many people in this group don't have paper. Because when we had to cancel the meeting on the 15th, people said I didn't do it because I didn't have a log. And I said, well, you could have wrote it on a piece of paper. And they looked at me like, what? Paper? So, here's the thing. You might have gotten away with murder over Christmas because I'm being very kind today. but no log, you do not get weighed in. Now, if you did it and you had to rush from work and you handed in the next week, but you can't lie because it's a Catholic weight loss group and you will go to hell if you lie. So just remember that. You cannot lie. And I know when people lie. I had 4 kids. Anybody who has kids go, oh, wait a minute, that is not true. Okay. Also, we do a chapter from the Bible each week. And I did a little survey, and the survey says only 2 people didn't like the Bible reading each week, but they didn't like to talk. And you know what? Usually the people who don't like to talk, don't talk. So, my point is this. We're all supposed to be reading the Bible verse. So let's say it's table 1. Well, you know table 1, everyone's going to say something. It's going to take up the whole time. But if it's another table, and I say to the group, does anyone else have anything you'd like to say? Please prepare an input. Several people said that the whole group should be available to offer input if they want. Not a ton. Just a little, okay? So next week, table 10, did you think you'd get out of it just because of the snow day? Oh, no, no, no. You're going to do the first one for next week, and it's right in your packet. All right, so you must wear a name tag, and the new people, as long as I know you're going to last, because we're not going to invest in a fancy schmancy name tag if you're not going to come. But as long as we give you a few weeks, then we give you a name tag. Also, you really need to commit. And by committing, I say, you've got to call me. And one person called today and said, Ellen, I tested positive for the flu. Good excuse, right? If someone called and said, I kind of felt like going to Burger King, so I'm not going to pray it off tonight. Not so good of an excuse. So you have to have a valid excuse. Call me ahead of time. And I have my cell phone there. Don't text my home line. You text my cell phone, and I have my email. Also, it's a confidential group. Now, if you see me in Wegmans and you say to your husband, hey, this is Ellen McCauley, she runs Pray It Off, I have no problem with that. But if you see someone at your table and go, hey, I know them from Pray It Off, and they're really fat, but they're working hard to lose a lot of weight, we don't tell people's business. If you've been here for a while, you get used to people and you know what to say out in public, but if I saw you in a restaurant, I would say to someone, that's my friend from church. That's what I say. They're my friend from church. I never say they're in a weight loss group, okay? Some people are fussy about that. I told you about the prayer box, and if you have trouble with the stairs, there's an elevator. Everyone is in a small group. I really think this session we should commit ourselves to really using that small group to kind of dive into the topics. And another thing the survey said was that they wanted someone to come in and talk about diabetes self-management. Well, we have an expert right in the group I might be able to go to, a nutritionist, maybe someone come in to run an exercise class. Now, I have to be careful about that because I had someone come in and we were doing some chair exercises, we were doing something, and a lady quit. She goes, I didn't come here to exercise, I came here to lose weight. Okay, so I have to warn you ahead of time that if we have an exercise person, I don't want anyone quitting over it. And then I really hit the high points of the packet. You have to read it at home. There's so much good information. I really work hard, and I'm not saying that for a pat on the back. Each week there's a different topic. Each week we have different things to address because losing weight and keeping it off is a myriad of things. It's in your head. It's in your heart. Is it stress? Is it your family? Is it the food you're eating? Is it sodium? Should I try a low sodium diet? Should I try maybe eating more protein? There are a lot of fad diets out there. I might mention a few. I might talk briefly about keto. I don't think diets like that are sustainable over time. I can eat cabbage soup probably every day for a month. but I don't think I could do it longer than that. We have to do things that are sustainable. Also on this survey, people thought it was a good formula. They thought the way we do it, the prayer, the presentation, the song, no one complained about the formula. Most people said maybe one meeting over the summer just to check in. That's up for grabs, you know. Here's the thing. We're trying to lose weight and be healthy for the rest of your life. And having that compression fracture and then just feeling kind of yucky about that, I realized just how precious the health is and feeling good. And there's so many of you in the group that have problems with your hips and problems with pain, and I can really relate to it so much more. Our health is the #1 asset we have, and that's what we're going to do together. So if we do one meeting over the summer for our health, isn't it worth it? Also, just 2 people, and I'm not going to name names, but I think they were in cahoots, complained that the meeting going to June 29th was too long. We used to do Pray It Off for the first, I think, 8 years, every week, all year long. Even the Thanksgiving, I would have a meeting on Wednesday. I never took a week off for 8 years. And then I got kind of tired and older, and I said, okay, let's take a little teeny break. But I think going to the end of June is perfect because then we have July and August, and we need to be in really good mental shape because the summer's tough for me. I mean, I can lose weight like a champ January through May. But then you get me in the summer and there's the cookouts and the parties. So also people wanted more easy recipes. And I love this. 10 people said 5 ingredients or less. And I'm thinking, okay, let me think. Chicken. Okay, there's 1 ingredient. There you go. Put it in the oven. So I just found that very interesting. And I'm going to stop right there, Bobby.